Good evening and good evening and welcome to another episode of Clearly Ambiguous. Actually, not an evening. It's about 2 a.m. in the morning. And what am I doing at 2 a.m. in the morning? Well, everybody has been talking about this. I thought I should probably speak about it as well. That is the Trump tariffs. Now, I'm sure everybody has actually seen this news of, let's see, Trump tariffs hit US 26% import duty on India kicks off amid geopolitical market turmoil. So, obviously, I'm sure everybody's watched the news and they have seen that markets are going through a tough time right now. And one set of people end up saying that, they will get impacted, but they will correct themselves later on. Other alarmist people end up saying, oh, $5 million has disappeared, $1 trillion has vanished, so on and so forth. Well, there'll always be some people supporting it, some people not supporting it. Now, I think this keeps shining, so I'll keep that aside. But what should we as Indians think about this? See, we start getting very excited about the fact that when Trump says Prime Minister Modi is a good friend, we start jumping with joy, and then when he says a few things in our favor that we want to listen to, we jump with joy. And then we have when we see appointments happening in US of uh, people of Indian origin, it's like, wow, we have a brother there. But then again, please understand that, see, when you are a citizen of the country and you hold any public office in that country, you are expected to be loyal to the agendas of that particular country. So, although we might feel very good about the fact that our brothers are now in the ruling and legislative offices of the United States of America, but then again, I'm sure they will have the interests of the country that they are in right now because obviously they are citizens of the United States. Similarly, we as Indians should think about our interests first. And now, why do I say that? Because see, what is happening right now is that just because President Trump has made certain tariffs, right? So, if you see what is happening in Europe, the lefty governments in Europe are saying we will have reciprocal tariffs. Well, please, first of all, how much does America buy from Europe and how much does Europe buy from America is what will decide, right? That who has more negotiating power. There are certain countries who are already saying we are ready to even go 0% on tariffs that they charge to Americans, right? Just to negotiate. And the Americans are right now thumping their chest and saying, but everybody is giving them a call and everybody wants to negotiate. Well, some people will want to negotiate. Of course, those economies who will have that opportunistic attitude and say, and we should be opportunistic as well. Americans are being extremely opportunistic right now and saying, you know what, we'll impose taxes on you so that we can basically jumpstart our own manufacturing industry. Now, why did and somebody should ask this question, and I see nobody asking this question. Why do you think that is it Chinese companies who is Apple a Chinese brand? It's an American brand, right? The Dells, the Lenovo's, these are. Do you think these are Chinese brands? These are American brands. So why are they manufacturing in China? Because it's cheaper to manufacture in China. So let's not just all wave our arms and say that, oh, and why do Chinese have? When can you manufacture cheaply in China? So all those people who end up thinking that China is so progressive. Well, China is has been able to manufacture everything because the manufacturing costs have, and one of the major reasons why China has low manufacturing costs is because there are low labor charges in China. China essentially is a dictatorship which says that, you know what, you work out according to what I pay you. You don't demand what you want to get paid. Right? So everybody who thinks that, wow, it's not so wow everywhere. Grass is always greener on the other side. And we Indians like to think, oh, grass is always greener. Anyways, let's not talk about grass right now. But yes, so I think President Trump has started a few things. And yes, uh, some of those actions will help us. Some of those actions will impact us negatively as well. Very interesting thing that, you know, there is, uh, I don't know whether I have opened that. Um, let's see if I can search that. Yeah, let's see if I can. So now there is a professor called Professor Jeffrey Sachs. I don't know how many people have heard about him, but he has recently been in India, and he's been talking about this. And there is something very interesting that he says. And and this is not something that is being said by the of about the Americans the first time. That and Chinese are saying this as well right now. Interesting thing is the Chinese are wooing the Indians to have an allegiance, right? Um, to say that you know you to be friends with Americans is absolutely fatal, and somebody had said that, right? So you can search that. So yes, Professor Jeffrey Sachs has said this, and said that we Indians should right now just hold on, and we are actually doing that. We are doing a wait and watch right now, and see that what actually is going to be an impact of these tariffs. So, and this has actually worked for us in recent times. That we've not just gone bonkers, and it's worked for us in the past as well. Even in Cold War, we were non-aligned essentially. Yes, we used to favor Russians, but we were not completely, a part of the Russian bloc as well, or neither. So yeah, it has helped us in the past, and it has helped even recently in the Ukraine-Russia conflict as well. That we've been speaking to both of them, right? So right now, if the Americans, see, Americans like to feel that there are well, they should also, but they feel, President Trump also feels that he's done these tariffs and everybody is going to come to running to them and say, no, no, please withdraw some of these tariffs. What did China do? China has basically just announced reciprocal taxes. They've increased the taxes. And America knows for a fact that, there are a lot of people, even Indian businessmen who go to China and they say, it's very easy to do business with China. Yes, it is very easy to do business with China till the time you're buying from China. You try selling something to China, it's a whole different story. China is not going to allow, no matter what Americans try, China is not going to allow Ford pickup trucks being sold in central China and running around everywhere, right? Up and down Tibet. That's not going to happen. So, yeah. So, no matter how much you pressurize that, there are certain things China is not going to do. And a lot of people are saying that we should probably respond the way Chinese did. Why should we respond the way anybody else is responding? India should respond the way it thinks is right. And Prime Minister Modi has said this, and I think our government should stick to it, that when America says make America great again and America first, I think we should also start thinking India first. We should talk to the Chinese, but we should also start be wary of Chinese, because when Chinese had it going good, they were basically sending their troops here, there, everywhere down our border, and right. And now somehow everything's gone quiet. Chinese were building highways and railways to basically move their military might from the east of China to the west of China, so on and so forth. So that is something that we should be wary about as well. One thing that I've been thinking about, right, and this is slightly going off topic. Actually, why off topic it is, part of it. Because see, when the President Trump is basically trying to say that, America should start manufacturing again, and this is going to be a jump start. Do you really think that Americans right now want to be a workforce? The Americans could get things manufactured cheaply abroad. That's why they went there. And Americans, I don't think so. They like to do labor, right? They like to get labor, because right now the American Democrats are basically saying, you know what, it is the immigrants who actually do most of the labor intensive work. And essentially, if you see, Trump basically has kicked them out. He has deported them, put them on flights, and his immigration policy is stricter. I know what he's trying to do is that if there is a need to hire, Americans will hire Americans. Interesting thing is, if Americans can get cheap labor from anywhere outside, that's what's going to happen. So although I think there might be some manufacturing that might start happening in the United States, but I think the labor is still going to come from outside. And then what are you going to say? All your doctors, engineers, and everybody is the white collar jobs are already with Asians, so to speak. All your blue collar jobs also essentially are with migrants, and even your labor jobs now will go to everybody else. So it can backfire as well, right? The only thing that we can probably feel good about is that our percentage of tariff is not as high, right? And it would be very what do you call it? Americans are really, President Trump might be really stretching his imagination when he thinks that Indians would suddenly, start importing Ford pickup trucks and forget the Tatas and Mahindras of this country. Just that's not going to happen. And another thing that we Indians should not be worried about is that although, China does manufacture a lot but does not consume as much as it. Do you think all the iPhones that China manufactures, it buys also? Of course, it's the United States that's the biggest market. But then again, Chinese do not consume a lot of high-tech equipment that they manufacture for other people, right? India, that's probably the reason why. Because, see, India is not only a vibrant market, India is a very varied market as well. We have a market for everything. And we are growing, right? We have a young population which is working, which is earning, and which aspires to improve their lifestyle, right? So, yes, that's the reason why Chinese think that, Indians should now accept Chinese with open arms just because Chinese are being magnanimous. Actually, if anybody can be magnanimous right now, it is us Indians. See, Europeans want war. They want everybody to basically, they are punishing people within Europe. Like, just because Hungary is not jumping to the idea of supporting Ukraine in their war, or Poland is probably pulling back, Europeans are basically sanctioning them. So, every European country right now is, has been convinced that they need to fight this Ukrainian war. And probably, if they all get together, they'll probably show Russia. And everybody knows what Russia is doing. So, yeah. So, right now, West is in turmoil and they're going to kick. I don't say that we'll be completely not affected by the turmoil. Earlier, we were pretty close, and as we have opened up, yes, it will affect us. Right? It has affected our markets. But everybody in this country is just not earning their money from the markets, right? We still basically like to be daily wage laborers. And I say that, I hope nobody gets offended, but we all are that. We even the jobs that we do, we are basically labor, and we like doing that. And yes, few people invest, but I'll say, to give my own example, like if we probably earn 100 rupees, we will probably spend most of it, and then whatever money that we have saved, the first thing that we probably do is try to acquire some gold, and yeah, so that way, and that's the reason why everybody wants to get after the domestic gold Indian ladies and mothers and daughters of this country have. And, yeah. And probably that's why they're probably hoping that the market stay down, gold stays expensive, so that probably people will bring some of the gold that they have. And it will be a very wrong thing to do if you basically think that just because gold is on a high and you should sell off your savings and probably buy another house. Don't do that. Until unless it's really essential, don't do it. Don't just liquidate it. But coming back to tariffs. So what does America want to do? America wants to be great again. So President Trump has these tariffs, and the plan of these tariffs. One good thing he did is because he started funding every subversive activity in the form of US aid, and that's good. But tariffs, so he made these tariffs and everything is going to go, yes, it will affect. But please try and understand. Somebody was saying very interesting thing the other day is that the funnel of wealth is still the same way. Please don't expect that any rich people are just going to be. Apple has been filling up planes of iPhones right now and rushing them to United States so that they can at least have a stock before the tariff comes in. So, yeah, and Apple probably considers that they'll start making iPhones in India because the tariffs are going to impact less in India and more in China now and all that. So doesn't mean that it is just because there are few more iPhones getting manufactured in our country, we should be very happy. Listen, Americans are President Trump, even when the Democrats were there, and even when President Trump is there, please try and understand that they will always think America first. And we should think the same way as well. And that's what we've done in recent past. That we've absorbed a lot of Western criticism about engaging with Russia, but then it has helped us. Actually, I have a gripe there as well. Right now, the oil is cheap and people like you and me are still not getting petrol and diesel cheaper, which is bad. Our government should probably think about that rather than. Another thing is, a lot of people are jumping on to the government and saying, why is our government not responding? Our government's not. What do you want our government to do? You want the government to basically just thump our chest and support the Chinese. When have Chinese ever supported us? Whether it is United Nations or whether it's anything. Chinese have it going tough right now, and India is an avenue, and we should not jump ship and say, oh. At the same point of time, we should probably jump with joy and say, oh, President Trump's here, and we should trust everything the Americans say. No. Right? They all are doing it for themselves, and we should probably think about ourselves as well. Yes, how are these tariffs going to impact us? And I'm sure we have the economists in this country because we are a growing economy. So there's something that is definitely going right for us. So something's right with our economy, that's why it's growing. Right? There will always be some people who will be happy with it, there will always be some people who will be sad with it. But right now, our economy is growing, and yes, this will bring economic slowdown, and that's what people do. That's the rich will still get richer, the poor will still get poorer. So nothing's going to change in a day's time. For those people who think that our government is probably not commenting about it enough and discussing about it enough, our government is probably doing enough. And I'll tell you when our government is going to say something about this. If there is any small win that we'll have from this, and it will not impact us as it impacts the rest of the world, and we might be seen in a better way, then of course our government is going to take all credit for it, and they'll say, see. And if we get impacted in a way which is far more negative than the rest of the world, which our opposition will do, they'll jump on the government and say, you had this great bonhomie, Mr. Prime Minister, with the American president. What has it got you? So, listen, I'm already telling you what everybody else is going to say. Right? Should we basically start going into a depression and thinking, oh, what has happened? Well, recessions come, recessions go. It will be tough. Few things will be expensive. Who says anything's going to be easy? Right? If Americans did not put tariffs on us, you think life was any easier? So probably yes, we'll struggle a few things, but then again, America is not our greatest market as well. We are our own. We are actually our own best market. We consume more than So yeah, good for us that we've been a vibrant market that everybody now wants to sell us. And allegiances, as far as anything is concerned, Indians should basically now start thinking. India as a country should start thinking, who should we align ourselves with? Should we align with those people who will support us through and through? And that's never going to happen in any scenario. Nobody is going to do that. No nation is just going to say, you know what, why don't the Indians become the best economy in the world at our expense? That's never going to happen. Look at what's happened to Bangladesh. We Indians would like to think that the Bangladesh should always be magnanimous enough and thankful enough because we liberated them from Pakistan. Well, the Bangladeshis don't think so. Their caretaker, I don't know how long he's going to take care of that country, but he's definitely going to get China involved in the Bay of Bengal, and that is what his strategy is. And it's interesting, isn't it? He's been installed at the helm of that country by the help of CIA, who wants China to be here. This is geopolitics. So anyways, should we be worried about the tariffs? Yes, we should always be worried. Should we be too worried about it? No, we should never be too worried about it because it will play out its own role. President Trump's already sent signals of pausing it for a few countries and not pausing it for a few countries, because obviously he also wants people to talk to him. Because there were a lot of people in this world when President Trump came in, they just won't talk to him. So he has to probably go that drastic and that ballistic so that he gets people to the negotiating table. And I'm sure everybody is just going to, no matter how the negotiations go, once everybody signs those negotiations, what they say, oh, he was so magnanimous, and yes, it was so nice. And so anyways, the Chinese would like to be friends with us right now. Americans say that we are their friends. But have you even heard about the fact that while Chinese have told the Americans that you will not have any rare earth elements from us, minerals from us, for your industry, Pakistan suddenly has become valuable for the United States. And listen, no matter what the Americans say, Americans know the Pakistani doublespeak on everything. But remember this about America's opportunism. If they can find oil, if they can find fuel, if they can find minerals for their industry, they'll forget everything else. You will suddenly start seeing Pakistani F-16s get serviced very well. You will suddenly start seeing American defense contractors suddenly jumping into Pakistan border conflicts and controlling them. So, if we think that, so we have to wait and watch. And we have to watch a lot, by the way. We have to watch both our immediate neighbors, because one neighbor who's think about it. For Pakistanis, this might just be a lifeline they were looking for. They've gone everywhere. They've got no money from anywhere. We always end up saying every 3 days that, what a master stroke we have done. Imagine this, but if Americans right now, Americans have been pushing us and nudging us along for us to increase our defense spending and buy more of American equipment, while we want to manufacture our own, and we still want to buy from Russia as well, because then again, Russian equipment has not been always all that bad to us, right? It has served our security purposes, right? So the Pakistanis just might get that shot in the arm that they've been looking for a while. The miracle. And they're going to say, you know what, Americans, you forget going to Ukraine, you forget talking to China. Come here, right here in Balochistan, right under, just dig for 5 meters and you will get everything. Everything you will get. What are we going to do then? Have we thought about it? And I'm sure there is somebody who's thinking about it, because see, I'm not the greatest analyst of them all. I don't even read that much, but yes. So yes, President Trump has probably rattled everyone, or probably opened a can of worms. We'll have to wait and see. Is it all gloom and doom? That's exactly the question I asked Gemini today. And what did it answer? Yeah, so this is what even the AI had to say. I asked it, are Trump tariffs all gloom and doom? So potential downsides, so increased consumer prices, damage to US and world economics, global supply, disruption of global supply chains, job losses. But there are potential upsides: protection of domestic industries, increased government revenue, negotiating leverage, as I have been saying for a while now. So yes, that's what it is. That's why they are there for leverage, to create leverage. We Indians need to be cautious, right? Actually, we need to be cautious all the time. So anyways, I hope I was able to share certain things clearly, and I'm sure everybody else can answer the ambiguities that are going to arise now, right? So thanks for watching. Please hit like, share at least with one more person. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.